잼. 뭐냐 이거? 잼.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Diaries channel. Only a few truly understand this. That line isn't a hook meant to lure attention. It's a quiet truth. A sentence that feels simple, yet carries a meaning only visible to those who know how to look beyond what's shown. Jimin and Jungkook's relationship was never meant to be loud. It was never written to impress, to shock, or to demand belief. It exists in a language that doesn't rely on sound once spoken through pauses, glances, and moments most people overlook. Their story didn't begin with dramatic confessions or carefully staged declarations. It unfolded slowly, almost invisibly, in the spaces between rehearsals and exhaustion, between laughter and silence. While others searched for proof, their bond grew in consistency, in showing up, in staying, in choosing each other when no one was watching. To some, Jikook is nothing more than proximity to idols shaped by time, training, and shared success. To others, it's dismissed as performance, a narrative built for the stage. But for those who truly feel it, this connection doesn't need defending. Some relationships don't ask to be explained. They simply exist, steady and self-assured, untouched by doubt. Jimin and Jungkook never tried to define what they were. And that's precisely where the truth lives. What's real doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't chase validation. It remains quiet, persistent whether the world pays attention or not. Watch Jungkook when Jimin is near. Something shifts. His posture eases. His expression softens. The constant pressure to perform fades, replaced by a calm that feels instinctive rather than intentional. Jungkook, often seen as powerful and composed, seems lighter in Jimin's presence, as if he no longer needs armor, as if, for once, simply being is enough. And Jimin, always attentive, always intuitive, understands without asking. He knows when to step closer and when to let silence do the work. He never overwhelms Jungkook's space, yet his presence is unmistakable. His care isn't loud. It's deliberate, in the way he listens, in the way he notices first, in the way he supports without trying to possess. Their bond wasn't created for a single moment to go viral. It was shaped by time, by shared fatigue and shared growth, by standing on brilliant stages and waiting quietly behind them. They grew up under relentless expectations, yet somehow found refuge in each other. When strength was demanded from them, they became each other's place to rest. Few truly understand this because most people look for certainty in words. They wait for statements, confirmations, labels. But relationships like this don't live on the surface. They live in patterns. In the way Jungkook instinctively returns to Jimin. In the way Jimin understands long before anything needs to be said. There is intimacy that doesn't require touch. There is closeness that doesn't need to be announced. Jikook exists in that space. The kind that logic struggles to explain, but the heart recognizes immediately. That's why not everyone will see it. And that's why, to those who do, it feels unmistakably real. Many connections appear beautiful because they're visible, but visibility doesn't guarantee depth. Jikook is the opposite. What they share may look ordinary at a glance, yet carries an emotional weight built over years. They never rush to prove anything. They trusted time to speak, and time always reveals what's genuine. When Jungkook faltered, Jimin didn't turn it into a moment. He stayed beside him quietly until he was ready to stand again. When Jimin doubted himself, Jungkook didn't need reassurance rehearsed in words. He showed it by never leaving. They didn't complete each other, they grounded each other. Their relationship says everything because it never tried to say anything at all. The world can speculate, deny, romanticize, or dismiss. None of it alters what remains between them. What they have follows its own rhythm, untouched by noise, unshaken by opinion. Perhaps that's what makes it mature. Love that doesn't rely on recognition. Love that accepts being misunderstood. Love that chooses endurance over performance. Jikook doesn't need universal belief. They only need continuity. They only need each other to stay. Only a few truly understand this because understanding requires more than observation. It requires sensitivity, the willingness to listen to silence, to trust what you feel even when it can't be explained. And once you reach that point, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Jimin and Jungkook's relationship doesn't clarify anything. And precisely because of that, it says everything. Not every meaningful bond is meant to be obvious. Some are built quietly, through time, trust, and shared becoming. Their connection isn't defined by moments meant to be seen, but by consistency that never fades.
살려줘. 또 먹으려고? 살려줘.
I was like 15, it was like 2009, and it was my
They faced pressure, expectation, and growth side by side. That kind of history creates understanding without language. Their comfort feels natural, unforced, steady. It shows in how they protect each other without drawing attention, in how they choose stability over spectacle. Rather than proving something to the world, they protect what's real between them. And sometimes, that silence reveals more than any declaration ever could. Not every relationship is meant for public understanding. Some are meant to be kept safe by the people living inside them. Few truly understand this, and that's exactly how it should be. Some connections are quiet. They don't ask for attention or proof. They exist patiently, in places most people never think to look. Jimin and Jungkook's bond lives there in the pauses, the glances, the shared understanding that needs no translation. To casual eyes, they are simply two people who grew up together. But to those who pay attention with their hearts, it becomes clear. This is more than habit, more than proximity. There is intention in how they move around each other, security in how they return to one another again and again. Jungkook is expected to embody strength, confidence, power. Yet beside Jimin, those expectations dissolve. His shoulders relax. His laughter comes easier. Nothing feels performed. That kind of ease can't be fabricated. It only appears where someone feels deeply understood. And Jimin, guided by instinct and care, never rushes, never demands. He listens even in silence. His presence is calm, unwavering, too consistent to be accidental. Their bond was forged in years, not moments. In late nights, exhaustion, doubt, and quiet reassurance. They didn't just grow together, they became safe for one another. That's why many miss it. The world looks for declarations, but true intimacy reveals itself through presence, through staying, through choosing each other in the smallest, most ordinary moments. They never tried to convince anyone of who they were, and that's why it feels real. What's genuine doesn't need explanation. It remains. This relationship says everything without ever speaking. And maybe that's why only a few truly understand it. Because to understand something like this, you have to stop searching for proof and start listening to what silence is already telling you. If you felt it even once, then you already know. Jimin and Jungkook don't explain their bond. They live it. And sometimes, that is the loudest truth of all. And maybe that's where we leave it, not with conclusions, not with answers, because some relationships were never meant to be explained. They weren't built to be proven, labeled, or defended, but to be lived quietly, consistently, and honestly. Jimin and Jungkook don't ask the world to understand. They don't need agreement or permission. What they share exists whether it's believed or not, living in the pauses, the silences, and the moments that never needed an audience. So if you felt something while watching this, if something lingered even when no words were spoken, then maybe you already understand more than you think. Not everything meaningful is loud. Not every truth needs to be said. And sometimes, the real story is the one that stays with you after the screen goes dark. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.